Hi, I'm Sunny Game. PSDToUGUI has just received a major update. The new PrefabAutoBind feature generates UI fields, event bindings, and reusable child views. I'll export this PSD to create the prefab used in this demonstration. Direct reference serializes fields on an attached monobehavior. Bind-by-find resolves them at runtime. I'll demonstrate direct reference first. You can freely bind any component as a generated variable. You can also add UI events, such as the slider's value changed event. Export creates the logic and bind partials, then waits for Unity to compile them. After compilation, the component is attached, and its serialized references are populated. The generated bind file contains the fields, event registration, and event removal code. Sometimes a class needs reusable child classes. Set a node to view to create one. Convert an item node to view and name its child class itemView. The same child class can also be collected in an array or list. Use copy config to copy the completed view configuration. Select the remaining items and use paste config to apply the same configuration quickly. Export regenerates both the parent class and the reusable child view class. Automatic binding fills the serialized list with all 6 itemView instances. itemView bind owns the generated button reference for each repeated item. Generated binding code stays separate from the editable logic partials. Besides using view inside a component, you can create and nest a separate prefab. Here, node left is opened as an independent nested prefab. Open node left in the PrefabAutoBind editor. Set its generated class name to NodeLift. Bind the BG image as a direct reference. Select direct reference settings and export the NodeLift logic and bind partials. The NodeLift component now contains the automatically populated BG reference. Reopen the parent GUI configuration. Add more control bindings and expose the nested NodeLift view to the parent. The parent now includes the background, slider, NodeLift, and the itemView list. Direct reference output uses serialized fields and generates matching event hooks. If you prefer runtime lookups instead of attaching a monobehavior to the prefab, use bind-by-find. Open the same prefab again to switch its binding strategy. Assign the bind-by-find preset to the root configuration. Update all selected item views to use the same bind-by-find settings. Regenerate all rebuilds every logic and bind file from the selected templates. PSDToUGUI now resolves its button at runtime through FinDUI. PSDToUGUI finds the root controls and creates each child with track childv. You can customize the templates, base classes, lookup methods, and event registration. See the documentation for the full parameter reference. Don't own PSDToUGUI? PrefabAutoBind is open source. You'll find the link in the description.